Starting off with just giving you, first of all, an overview, or a regional overview. With the ongoing support, our network has now grown to cover about 181 automatic weather stations in all the SASSCAL countries, so that's Angola, Botswana, Namibia, Zambia, and South Africa. These automated weather stations, they record in situ parameters of climate importance, such as the rainfall and soil temperature, humidity, among some of the many variables. And the data that is generated out of this physical infrastructure is transmitted onto us. There is a slide where I'll just share with you a little bit more of how that all comes together. But ultimately, after going through some data quality checks at the Open Access Data Center, we make it openly and freely accessible to the public, to stakeholders, the partners, the meteorological services, as well as the research community. We have to date maintained, so the data is primarily open access, so in most cases this is available without the need for registrations, but we have also had extensive use of some of the data, and for that we require registration, which to date we have about 260 users. As already mentioned by the presentations that have been made between 2024 to date, there has been the ongoing maintenance of 108 of those stations. So just to for the appreciation of those that are not coming from one of the locations where these stations are installed, that's how they look like. You have the full set or the full unit in the picture in the middle. And then just zooming in a little bit, some of the components, you have the rain gauge, which is the picture on the left bottom, and then the top, that is the data, or that's the logger, which responds to all the sensors that form the entire structure, record the values, and then eventually transmit them to the SASSCAL data center before we make it available online. To the right, you also have another sensor, which is your wind speed and your wind properties sensors. So standard in these automated weather stations, the variables are these ones that we list. So it's your air and soil temperature, the barometric pressure, humidity, liquidness, rainfall, solar radiation, wind properties, including speed as well as direction. In some of the stations we have additional sensors, some, not all of them, but some also include fog, measurements, the dew point, as well as wet bulb. Now, I know presenting it from a PowerPoint presentation, it all looks very simplified, but there's a lot that happens behind the scenes to make it all come together. And just to give you an overview, there's several technologies that are integrated into the network. We have a few suppliers, primarily Adcon and Campbell, and also various transmission models. Like it has been explained, the distribution is really sparse and in some cases very remote, and that also then meant that there was some adaptation, so there was several strategies necessary to ensure that the data that is recorded is transmitted. Just to quickly cover some of them, so we have the Adcon supplied stations which make use of an intermediary server. We have a server sitting in Angola, one in Zambia, one in Austria. It's the provider, so some of the recorded data is first routed onto those intermediary servers before they come onto the SASSCAL file transfer protocol server. We have the GPRS one, or the GSM, so the cellular ones. These are the most straightforward ones because they record in situ and are able over a cellular network to transmit directly to us. There has been a couple of technologies which have now been retired thanks to this maintenance effort, because they were more of the legacy type, which is the microcotton stations, as well as similar in Botswana. They also have transmission directly straight to our server. And then there is, of course, the stations that are in extreme or remote places where no network coverage exists. And for those cases, what happens is that the stations transmit via satellite connection, and we are thankful for the support in this regard from UMETSAT as the provider that we make use of to receive those data packets and then transmit them onto us. in a format that we can later process and make it part of the overall database. And then there's some stations that have no capacity to transmit directly, and in some cases then we have had to develop our own tools that instead of pushing, we go and pull the data, incorporate it into the database before it all comes together into a database that we make publicly available on the website. So it's a mouthful, but those are the several parts of the various moving parts that come together to make the SASSCAL WeatherNet ecosystem.